All right. Welcome to today's $1 Million Mentor Masterclass. I am your host, the Celebrity Empire Builder, WildFlower, aka JD WildFlower in the business world. So, because when they quote me in Forbes, they like the JD part in front of it because it makes me sound a little bit more like the professor of marketing that I am. So, today we're going to be talking about toxic confidence, toxic positivity, toxic client attraction systems for coaches and mentors, and we're going to be talking about toxic client fulfillment systems as well. Now, when it comes to creating success in a mentor business, the thing is that it's not as easy as it looks. If you've been at it for any amount of time, you know that it is a continuous cycle. I mean, you're constantly having to navigate. It's like driving. People kind of expect that they'll kind of like set something up in their business and it's like a set it and forget it kind of a thing in their mentor and coaching business. I've never found that ever. And I've been a business mentor to celebrities for over 26 years. So, when it comes to how you are really showing up in your business and how you are really able to create conversions, I mean there's so many moving pieces in a coaching or mentor business. And for a lot of people, it looks really easy, doesn't it? It looks really easy from the outside because you might be, listening to this on audio, or you might be watching this live, or you might be watching the recording, and you can look at this and go, okay, she's doing a video, right? That must be what you need to do to have success in your business. Well, yes and no. I mean, strategizing the content that you're going to be talking about is monumental. I mean, it's huge. It's its own mountain. There are so many different components to building a coaching or mentor empire that most people are really coming at it the wrong way. And so I decided to create this masterclass series for $1 Million Mentor School, which is a division of my Mentors Tank Academy and Mentors Tank TV show. Because what I have been seeing out there is I have been seeing this whole toxic confidence, toxic positivity, toxic client attraction systems, and toxic client fulfillment systems. And I have been seeing a lot of mentors and coaches really waste a lot of time in their businesses. And I don't know about you, but I'm in business to make money, not to like dink around, and certainly not to waste time or leave money on the table. The thing is that in today's professional world of, professional business training world, which is what I've been in for over 20 years, actually, the barriers to entry are so low that unfortunately what's happened out there is that there is, it's like a huge amount of what I call junk food business training. Junk food business training is a term that I coined because when it comes to building your business, the thing is that because the barriers to entry to calling oneself an expert business trainer are so low, right? Unfortunately, what's out there these days is all kinds of misinformation about how to build your business. Now, I have worked with, business owners, everyone from A-list celebrities to forklift truck companies over the last 26 years. I specialize in celebrity business development and mentor business. I decided to, really go into the mentor world because I believe that mentors change people's lives. I believe in the power of mentorship. And I know that if coaches and mentors are out there building their business in the wrong way, they're never going to reach their clients. They're never going to reach their intended audience. And look, people need more inspiration out there in the world. They truly do. So when I was looking at what to do with my business education institute, VIP Global Media is my main parent business institute company. When I was looking at an area that I wanted to focus on, I decided to focus on the area that I've been in for over 25 years myself, which is as a business mentor. So I decided to really focus on helping other coaches and mentors build their businesses, because when you are a coach or a mentor, you're inspiring people around the world. And if you're learning how to build your business in the wrong way, how are you going to inspire the world? Right? So I'm on a mission right now myself to reach over 1 billion people around the planet, to raise the vibration of planet Earth and make the world be a better place for our kids and future generations to live in. And I am doing this with both the work and the thought leadership of myself and my clients, as well as my music. And so, this mission is about raising the vibration of people around the world by inspiring people, And so because I have this mission, for me, the best way to accomplish this mission is really to teach other mentors and coaches how to really build their businesses in ways where they gain traction, actual traction. Okay. And this is really, important, because when it comes to building a coaching or a mentor empire, the difference between just a coaching business and a mentor or coaching empire, I like to focus on mentor empires, because, I feel like the word coach is very overused in this day and age. And I feel like mentorship is really where coaching evolves into. It's like coaches graduate into being mentors. Okay. There are a lot of coaching things that can happen. Like to me here, and here's the difference. I'm just going to be clear. The difference between the difference between a coaching business and a mentor empire is that a coaching business is very limited in scope. Okay. It's very limited in scope because when, coaching is teaching somebody some certain skills and then kind of letting them go out into the wild, so to speak, right? Now, mentorship is different. Mentorship is teaching people how to think critically about whatever topics, they're working on. So that's, a huge difference right there, right? Building your mentor empire and evolving a coaching business to become a mentor empire, it leaves room for growth. And the thing about it is that a mentor empire includes a dynamic wealth of different applications and different ways that you can actually reach your intended audience. So a mentor empire should, in my opinion, include an ultra high-end signature coaching or training program, mentorship program, if you will, and which ultra high end to me is 20 to 100K plus. And this is not for the faint of heart. So if those numbers and charging those numbers for you, if you're just like, oh my gosh, I could never do that ever, that's okay. There's plenty of programs out there that can teach you how to, charge $100 for what you're doing. Okay. The value and the transformation that you're going to be providing to your clients is going to be limited in scope because, they're going to get $100 transformation for that, I focus on training mentors how to build their businesses that are so dedicated to their craft that really, dive deeply into their work to really help people transform their lives for the better. And the thing is that doing that, really requires a VIP type of experience. And in a VIP type of experience, what happens is that you're able to really provide a deeper level of help to your clients. So the first thing that's necessary is really to have an ultra high-end program. And a mentor empire, can also include speaking. If you like keynote speaking, it can also include being an author. It can also include direct consulting that you do with like VIP clients. Direct consulting is where you're coming in and you're actually helping people do something rather than just training them on how to do it. Some of the programs, some of the things that I do are kind of a combination, kind of a hybrid of mentorship as well as consulting. And so a mentor empire can also include, different elements of media and being involved in different ways. Basically, a mentor empire leaves room for growth in your business so that you are not just pigeonholed into, what everybody thinks that a coaching business should be. And like, doing the whole thing where they're escalating people up this whole value ladder and doing this whole funnel type of thing in terms of which you've probably heard of, which is where they sell a $27 program and then they sell a $97 program and then they sell a $1997 program and then they might sell a 5K or a 10K, and most people stop there. So for me, I like to start at the 25K and up because my background and my area of expertise is working with A-list celebrities. So some of my clients include Academy and Grammy winners, New York Times best-selling authors, and over 50 other brands, including Samsung, Dish Network, U.S. Bank, Toro, Polaris, CenturyLink, and way too many more to mention right now. I've had a vast career for over 26 years, actually, and within the scope of my business. And when it comes to how you build your business, there are really so many different ways that you can come at things in your business. So because of that, I wanted to talk today a little bit about toxic confidence and also really how to reclaim your life back from your business, because there are different ways that as you're building the train tracks, right, for the train to go on, it can be challenging to know, right, if you are on the right track, right? Because you're building as you go. I'm just going to use a train as the analogy right here. I usually use spaceships because I like to see business as spaceships, and I'm admiral. And then all the captains come with their spaceships and we hang out for a while in my Mentors Tank Academy, and I teach them, and then they go on their way and throughout the week and go implement, and then they come back and for our weekly master classes and everything. Today I'm going to use the train track analogy. So the train track analogy is where, as you go, they're building the train tracks as they go. Okay. And this is one of the things that they actually used to do when building train tracks, is they would build it as they went. Because, you can only do one area at a time. So as you're building those train tracks of your business, right, and you're building the pathway, well, there's always a certain element of what I call beta mode that happens for the first year of any signature program. And that because this is based on what I teach is based on real world business principles and practices. Because I am a professor of marketing and business development. I started teaching at other people's colleges in 2001, which is over 2 decades at this point. So my, business background is not being out there having trillions of views on YouTube for the last 20 years or 25 years. My business background is helping other people do just that. as well as skyrocket things at the box office for their movies, their films. I've worked with supermodels, Academy winners, Grammy winners, New York Times bestselling authors. And so I've been a secret weapon, so to speak, behind the scenes in a lot of different ways throughout the years. There have been different times in my career where I've been more in front of the scenes, and there have been times where I've been more behind the scenes. These days, I do a combination of the two. So when it comes to building your business, the first year of any new offer, especially in a coaching or mentor business, is what I call beta mode. So in beta mode, what's going to happen is you're going to learn as you go. You're going to be building these train tracks as you go. And the thing that stops most people from even launching a new coaching or training program or putting the exact right amount of effort into it, right? I see two different sides of things. It's quite interesting, actually. So I've seen two different sides. I've seen the people who are out there who think that it should take them 5 minutes to put together their entire offer, or an hour. Let's say an hour. Let's give them an hour. Okay. There's people out there. I have seen this happen. It's crazy. Okay. But they're doing it because they're watching and they're seeing, they're learning the wrong way. Okay. I went to business school. I have been a professor of marketing for over 20 years. I'm not about shortcuts in business. If you take shortcut, think about this. If you're trying to take like a shortcut through a mountain range, what kinds of treacherous, roads are you going to be like coming across, right? There's all kinds of pitfalls that happen when you try to take too many shortcuts in business. The thing is that most business trainers online these days, number one, they're not qualified to teach. Now, the only reason I even mention this, because I don't like to really focus on things that are negative, right? To me, that's a negative. I don't typically like to focus on things that are negative because I like to be really productive. The thing is that if I don't point out what the freaking elephant is in the room, you're not going to understand that you have been learning how to build a coaching or mentor business the wrong way. If you've been listening to 99% of the people that are on YouTube or that are on the social medias teaching business development for coaches and mentors, most of those people, number one, they're not qualified teachers, right? They're not professors. Like I went to school. I actually have a degree. I have a degree in advertising. I have a degree in advertising and multimedia development back from the 90s. So I actually started in 1995. I had a vision that the future of business was going to be run online. Do you know at that time, people told me that they thought I was crazy. They did. And how are you watching this or listening to this right now? Probably online. So looks like that was kind of a spot on kind of a thing because the business world is, run online. Now, the reason that I point out that most of what you've probably been learning is the wrong thing to do is because if you don't cleanse your mental palate, what's going to happen is you're going to be overwhelmed and you're not going to pay attention when you actually come across training like mine that is, truly based on real world, solid and sound business principles and practices. Okay. I haven't just worked with coaching or mentor businesses. Okay. I've worked with some of the most famous people in the world, helped them with their brand development, their marketing, their website development, their advertising campaigns, global movements, launches, relaunches, rebrands, and all of the, all kinds of different aspects and components in business, because I'm not just a celebrity brand development advisor. That's one of my fortes. That's one of my strong suits. But really, when it comes to business strategy and how to think critically about your business and how to build an empire, that's my specialty. My specialty is how to build an empire, not just how to build a little coaching business, Now, an empire, it doesn't mean that you have to have a ton of staff. It doesn't mean that you have to grow something so that you have 5 locations or 25 locations or anything like that. Sometimes people do want that, right? Those tend to be more my private clients, that really want to scale to that rate. But an empire really leaves room for growth. So the reason I talk about that, most of the training in the coaching and mentor business development world, 99% of it out there is what I call junk food business training, is because, number one, most of the people that are teaching coaching and mentor business development online these days, they're not bona fide teachers. Like, they're not, actual accredited certified teachers, or they haven't been professors at schools. And so here's what that means. Some of them have actually had success in their own coaching or mentor business, right? Well, but here's the thing, just because you know how to do something doesn't mean you know how to teach it, right? It's very true. For all kinds of people throughout the years, they know that learning a skill, how to do a skill yourself and how to implement it yourself, it's two completely different sides of your brain that you're using when you're learning how to do something and implement it yourself, versus how do you teach this to others in a way where you're taking complex topics and making them clear and easy to understand, as well as easy to implement. Which brings us to the point of, it's about cleansing your palate. You need to cleanse your palate of your brain in order to really get to the next level in your business. Because when you can, actually get to the point where you realize that you don't know everything, that's a good place to be. Because only when you really accept that, that's when you're going to start asking the right questions about building your business. Because it's those who think that they know it all the time. That's a level of toxic confidence. Toxic confidence is varied. So what is toxic confidence, and how does it affect coaches and mentors today? So toxic confidence is a term that I coined in order to really define one of the things I've been watching happen in the coaching and mentor industry for a while. So toxic confidence is varied in what it does. There's a few different types of toxic confidence and different ways that it exhibits itself for people. So one version of toxic confidence is the people who look at building a mentor business as though it's a 1-hour task, and they look at it like it's a business in a box. Okay. So this is, let's say, toxic confidence area number 1. Okay. So this is the business in a box toxic confidence. Now, what does this mean? Well, I've seen people out there, and it's quite interesting. So now for myself, could I come up with something pretty quickly when I'm working with somebody? If I'm doing like private consulting or something, can I, come up with something pretty quickly myself in regards to marketing or business strategy? Probably. You know why? Because I've spent over 26 years doing so. So there's this story, I believe it's about Picasso, where he was at a cafe, and a lady recognized him and asked him to draw a portrait of him or of her, right? And so he went ahead and he got his pen out and he did it, and 30 seconds, and then he handed it to her and he said, "Okay, well, that'll be $30,000. And she said, "What? $30,000? That only took you 30 seconds to make." And he said, "Well, yeah, it took me 30 years to learn how to do that in 30 seconds. Okay. So what is the moral of the story with that? Well, the thing is that, can I do this stuff quickly? Yeah. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been in the advertising industry for over 26 years. So can I come up with brand development, marketing components, strategy, things like that? pretty quickly? Yeah, I can. But it's because of my vast experience in the industry that I'm able to do that. So the toxic confidence, the first type of toxic confidence is coming at your coaching or mentor business from a business in a box perspective, thinking that you should be able to come up with your brand development and crafting your offers within 1 hour. And it's just like this very cursory overview. And it's just like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this little thing on this topic because I've seen somebody else be successful with this topic. And so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And let's give confidence coaching as a topic, right? Like they're like, oh, I'm going to teach confidence coaching right now, because that seems like it's a topic that works for other people. And so I like talking about confidence. So I'm going to do a confidence thing. So they'll take like 1 hour, right? And they'll go, okay, here's the brand. Here's the moniker. Here's what the program is all about. And boom, 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 boom. And then these are the business in a box people. This is toxic confidence, you guys. This is toxic confidence number one. Category number one, because with a mentor and coaching empire, like you need to think through this stuff. This isn't like business in a box. You get it done in, one and done, and you're done in an hour. Not at all. That's the fastest way to failure. Okay. In a coaching or mentor business is to come at it from this cursory perspective, from a very shallow perspective of going, oh, I've seen somebody else teach confidence training. So I'm going to, in 1 hour period of time, I'm going to try to come up with the brand and the program and how many weeks it is. And I'm going to make a website and I'm going to put it out there, and then that's it. And then it's done. And I'm like, really interesting. Okay. So I don't even do that. Can I do what I do quickly? More quickly than most, because I've been doing it for over 25 years? Yes. Would I do it all within an hour? Absolutely not. You know why? What I might do, because I have so many years of business acumen in the coaching and mentor business development arena, what I might do is come up with something, within an hour. But then what I do is I have planned thinking time. You see, what most coaching and mentor business training is missing these days is planned thinking time and planned critical thinking time, and actually teaching you how to think critically about your business. No, I don't see anybody do that. That's what I do. I teach people how to think critically about their business, because for me, when I truly am passionate about business, because I believe that business is really what makes the world go round. And business has the capability to inspire people around the globe, or make them in a fear state and in a depressive state. And so people have an option. You have an option of which way you're going to go. When I went to school for marketing, I made a commitment. Because I knew that what I was going to learn how to do was going to be powerful out in the world. And so I made a commitment to only work with high vibe companies and high vibe people who have positive intent around the world, because what I do is very powerful. So, at this point, to even work with me, it's an interview process, because I want to make sure that everyone that I'm working with and everybody who's invited into one of my programs, like Mentors Tank Academy, like my Mentor Empire Builder program with $1 Million Mentor School and Mentors Tank TV, I want to make sure that each person really has a high vibe intent, and that they're really going to be spreading inspiration around the globe rather than fear. There's enough negative energy out there. And so it's really, for me, about putting more positive inspiration out there. And so the first type of toxic confidence is the whole business in a box notion of, that it just takes an hour or two or a day, and then you put everything together and then you just leave it. and then it's there forever, right? Now, when it comes to building what you're doing, if you have the training, if you've been doing trainings for a while and you put everything together in a day, right? Okay. Now you might be getting somewhere because you've done the right kinds of trainings with real world business principles and practices as the foundation. Do you see what I mean? There's a difference between building a business from the perspective of just having a very shallow understanding or a cursory understanding of the things and the elements of what you need to do in order to build. Okay. And going deep, that's what I do. You know, when you're building your business from a deep level perspective, what it is you're taking whatever vertical you're in, and it's like a tree, and you go down to the roots, because by sinking those roots in and by really thoroughly building your business from the ground up, from a deep level perspective, what you're doing is you're anchoring a business into the ground that's going to last for decades to come. You see, my focus is on long-term business success and strategy, not just fly by night, shallow kind of stuff, because, and that's what unfortunately most people are out there these days teaching people to do. They're teaching them this whole business in a box concept where they don't even have enough information in order to create something within a day. And again, for me, once my clients have gone through a certain amount of training with me, can they create something within a day that is deep level, rooted in real world business practices and foundations? Yes. Now, would I ever tell them to just set it and forget it at that point after only having worked on it a day? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But we're talking months. We're talking somebody has to have been working with me for, gosh, at least, a number of months in order to be able to make anything effective, very quickly like that. But then what I always do is when I see that, I always encourage them to continue to think about and have planned thinking time as well. Because when you have planned thinking time built into your business, that is how you truly develop an empire. You see, when you're thinking about the right things, when you learn how to think critically about your business, and when you're using critical thinking skills in your business development strategy, that's when you can create a business with depth and traction. And so the first type of toxic confidence is this whole business in a box notion. So the second type of business of a toxic confidence in business is the notion of trying to make sure that everything is absolutely perfect before you launch anything and put it out there. Okay, this is the second type of toxic confidence when it comes to business. So this type of energy is very interesting. I've seen this happen quite a bit. And this energy is the energy of trying to make sure that everything is absolutely perfect before you launch anything. Well, guess what? Did I ever suffer from this toxic confidence thing? Yeah, I did. I've been a business mentor myself for over 26 years. So for me, did I ever do that? Yes, I did. Actually, in 2014, I had a concept for an entrepreneurial club that I was developing at the time. And I actually watched as I kept trying to perfect before launching. And what I finally realized was that I needed to launch in order to perfect. Do you understand the difference? I needed to launch in order to perfect. I couldn't launch. You see, I was waiting for everything to be perfect in order to launch. in order to put out there what I was doing, in order to basically put my signature program and my offer out there that I was developing at the time. So it was a holistic success type of program, preventing burnout, teaching people how to prevent burnout. This was back in 2014, before even the language of burnout was very prevalent. And but that's the second type of toxic confidence, is this notion of waiting to feel 100% confident about launching a new program as a coach or mentor. Because if you're waiting to feel 100% confident about it, it might be an excuse that you're using to not launch and then tweak as you go. I'm a huge fan of, thinking critically in your business. I teach a whole deep level strategy of, how to ultra niche so that you're able to really attract and reach out to the right types of coaching or mentor clients, right? And really attract clients into your business. So I'm a huge fan of that, as well as, because I've been doing deep level business training for a number of years with my clients. And, you definitely want to have things that you're working on, and you want to have things developed to the point where you've got a lot of success principles that you're working with, and deep level understanding of your clients, right? That's, for me, ultra niching is about really niching your brand development as well as your programs as a coach or mentor, in order to appeal to an audience who has two things. Number one, the money to pay ultra high-end rates, which is 20 to 100K plus. And number two, the desire to solve their problems. Because, as some of you may know, just because somebody has problems doesn't mean they want to solve them. This is very true. Very true. And so I've seen so many people actually have issues in their coaching and mentor business because they sit around thinking, oh, I love to talk about something, and then they don't think it through. You see, one of the biggest problems in the coaching and mentor business training world today is that people are not thinking through all of the steps actually involved, and they're not thinking through how to ultra niche their business in a way that's going to create traction for them. So the second type of toxic confidence is the type of toxic confidence where you are waiting to feel 100% confident before launching what your offer is, before launching your signature program, your signature training or coaching or mentorship program. Again, you definitely want to have a robust foundation built. You want to have things built to the place where, launching it makes sense. But at the same time, I've, seen this happen time after time again, where somebody sits on something and they're sitting on it for like 6 months, 12 months. That can lead into 5 years where you don't actually launch something because you've got this whole toxic confidence notion going on, where you're waiting to feel 100% confident, when guess what? Sometimes you need to feel the fear and do it anyway. Okay. So that's the second type of toxic confidence that can really hold people back from, creating success in their business. And the third type of toxic confidence that can really affect mentors and coaches when it comes to building their business is basically putting the cart before the horse. Now, what do I mean by this? What I mean by this is that essentially the third type of toxic confidence is doing things in the wrong order. Okay. So the thing about having a mentor business is that you must do things in the right sequence. Okay. If you're not doing things in the right sequence, what can happen is you can be wasting a lot of time. Okay. if you're not doing things in the right sequence in your mentor business, you, gosh, what's an analogy? It's like cooking. I'm not a cook, just so you know, like when it comes to this stuff, when it comes to the brainy stuff and the celebrity brand building and business development, I'm like full throttle, right? I'm like super intellectual, which is like when I'm hanging out with my other musician friends, it's a little rare, but it's just part of but I'm not a good cook. I am not. So I'm like a business cook, but not like in the kitchen cook. My son is actually a way better cook than I am. So, but like if you're cooking something, and I know not as much from personal experience, but kind of, because like I've just burned food. Like this happens, like it happened just a couple weeks ago. I had to use the oven because my air fryer broke. So actually, I am pretty good at cooking when it's in an air fryer. In an air fryer, I can do pretty well. But my air fryer broke in Las Vegas like a week ago, and I had to use the oven for cooking. It was not pretty. I have pictures of burnt spinach. Okay, it happens. Why is this? I think it's because I get bored easily. And so like I'll put something in the oven and like I don't want to watch it because I'll like want to do something business wise or something else, right? And so it's the whole timing with it and everything. Anyway, I'm not claiming to be an expert and perfect at everything, because I'm not. When it comes to building businesses, that's my forte. That and entertainment and music. But yeah, cooking, not so much. So the thing about, the toxic confidence, the third type of toxic confidence in business, is that if you're doing things in the wrong sequence, it's like doing things in the wrong sequence when you're cooking. If you've got, for example, a lemon meringue pie that you're making, right? You've got the meringue on top. So you've got the crust, then you have the lemon curd filling, and then you've got the meringue on top, right? Well, imagine if instead of putting the crust there first, you put the lemon curd on the bottom, and then you put the meringue, and then you put the crust on top, and then you go to serve that to people, and they're like, there's no foundation, right? There's no foundation there. They didn't start with the foundation, right? So that's an analogy with cooking. So an analogy with a house is, imagine building a house when you put the walls up, right? And you put the siding on it, but there's no ground floor. So you walk in and you're like walking in on dirt, right? And you're like, wait, what? What is this? Why am I doing this? So that's like building a coaching or mentor business with elements done in the wrong sequence. Here's a classic example of how this can work. A classic example is, there's so many people out there saying that you need attention, attention, attention. You need publicity. And they're pitching celebrity status through publicity. Now, is creating celebrity status, is publicity a method for creating celebrity? Sure, but it's just one method. It truly is. See, this is my forte. Cooking spinach in an oven is not. But this is my jam. So publicity is one element of creating celebrity. The other, there are so many more elements of creating celebrity that, that's not the whole topic of this class today. But when it comes to building a mentor empire, if you're doing things in the wrong sequence, it's essentially like building a house without flooring, putting up the walls, and then you didn't build a basement. You walk in and you're like, wait, there's no substance here. Why is this not getting traction? And so in business, just one example, there are many different examples I could use, but just one example of putting the cart before the horse or doing things in the wrong sequence is putting out into the world, like getting a bunch of publicity before you have a solid signature program and before you have a solid lead magnet, meaning a freebie, some kind of a freebie offer kind of a thing, right? which could be a scorecard, a PDF, a quiz, a free masterclass, any number of things could be a lead magnet. But and then things dialed in, and then a signature program, and then an actual celebrity style personal brand built before they get publicity. You see, most people are putting the cart before the horse when it comes to publicity and brand development, because they're thinking that all they need to do is get attention and then they're going to get clients. Well, if that was the case, why would it be that people, after they get on different TV shows, Good Morning America, any number of morning shows, as well as, maybe they're featured in Forbes, maybe they're featured in a book, or they become a best-selling author and things like that. They ask me, they'll contact me and they'll say, why didn't they get clients from it? And I'll tell them they didn't get clients from it because they might have gotten attention. But what you require as a coach or a mentor in order to really create traction in your business is intentional attention. Okay? Intentional attention is what must happen in order to help you gain traction in your coaching or mentor business. So an example of doing things in the wrong sequence is getting too much publicity before your personal brand is ready for it, getting too much publicity before you have a thoroughly well-researched and well-developed lead magnet, as well as all kinds of, as well as having a signature program or a signature offer that you can really offer to people that's dialed in. That's totally dialed in. And what I mean by dialed in is something that goes deep, because in today's world, the only way you're going to have success as a life coach is if your name is Tony Robbins. Okay. If your name is Tony Robbins, then calling yourself a life coach, great. Or a business coach, great, right? And here's why. Because the industry is oversaturated. The industry is oversaturated. The coaching and mentor business development world, it's oversaturated. Because it's oversaturated, no longer are these general life coach and business coach terms working. 20 years ago, did they work? Yeah. 20 years ago, I was out there as a business, my technical title for over 20 years is Celebrity Branding and Global Business Growth Specialist, because I'm focused on global business growth. So if somebody just has something that's local, my concepts can certainly apply to that. My specialty is really creating global movements and celebrity traction. And celebrity, this is even one of the biggest myths out there today, that media features are the only way to create celebrity status. It's just not true. I know plenty of people who have media features who have zero celebrity status in their niche industry. It's true. It's true. The magazines are filled with people like that. This really kind of goes into a little bit different of a topic, but the whole toxic confidence perspective can actually apply to that as well. For example, and this actually, I'm kind of making this one up as we go here, but I feel like there's a fourth area of toxic confidence, and this is that toxic confidence area of thinking that just because you've had media features, right, that there's some kind of entitlement that people feel like they have to, number one, calling themselves a celebrity in their industry, or number two, feeling like that should get them clients in and of itself. Well, a clockwork client acquisition system will get you clients, okay? Media features will get you attention. Having a celebrity style personal brand that's dialed in an ultra niched way, which is what I teach. Ultra niching, again, means that you are niching your business and your offers to appeal to a target audience that has the money to pay ultra high-end rates, which are 20 to 100K plus, as well as has the desire to solve their problems. Because remember, not everyone with problems has the desire to solve them. They might tell you that they do, right? But I've been in advertising for over 25 years. And here is one of the little secrets in the advertising world that we know, okay? Not everybody knows why they do what they do. You see, I'm really a student of human psychology and evolutionary psychology. Now, celebrity brand development does tie in to evolutionary psychology. Why is this? Because in evolutionary psychology, there is a premise of leadership. And there is this whole premise of, the masses looking to follow leaders. Why? Food, shelter, water, news. Food, shelter, water, news. People throughout the beginning of time have looked to leaders to help direct them to where the food is, where the water is, where the shelter is, and to the news. What is new? What's that news part? What's the fourth part? Well, what's new is fundamental to safety. Because if there's an elephant on the side of the village and there's a danger that it might come into the village and trample things, well, paying attention to what's new is actually going to essentially create the human, brain to pay attention to safety in a different way. Now, this is why people look to leaders, right? And as a coach or mentor, you're really a leader. It's just another way of saying leader. And celebrities are seen as leaders. Why? Because they have an expertise at something that made them a celebrity. Maybe they have an expertise at having a publicity team that helped them become a celebrity, depending on what it is and how that happened. But when it comes to building a mentor empire, where this toxic confidence can really come in is as well in the fourth category of toxic confidence here is that kind of notion of thinking that just because you've been featured in the media, that's automatically going to equate itself to clients, because media can get you attention. But if you haven't implemented and you haven't put the things into place in your client attraction system and have it be ultra niched, ultra dialed in to, attracting and bringing your clients through your client journey, right? Through the first step in your client journey, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth steps of your client journey, then, you're leaving money on the table. And so the fourth type of toxic confidence is one where there's kind of an entitlement that you have because either of media features or celebrity status. Now, I talk about this because I have my Star Power Bootcamp program that teaches people how to build celebrity style personal brands. And what I talk about very explicitly is that a celebrity style personal brand is not going to make you $1 unless you learn how to monetize it, unless you have some kind of signature training program and some kind of clockwork client acquisition system. So a training program for if you're a coach or a mentor. So my Star Power Bootcamp program is actually open to all entrepreneurs. You don't have to be just a coach or a mentor or expert or consultant for my Star Power Bootcamp. But when you are a coach or a mentor, which is a little bit more of what we're talking about today, business-wise, really having that celebrity style personal brand, you must have also a signature program with it, to carry it forward. But regardless of where it's at, being branded as a celebrity is not going to make you any money unless you create in tandem with it a clockwork client attraction system. Why is this and how does this work? Well, I've been in the celebrity worlds for over 2 decades. I know plenty of broke celebrities. It's true. It's true. Think about your favorite 90s TV sitcom star. Unless they were on like Friends or Seinfeld, they're probably not raking in the dough from, royalties from those shows. Okay. So the thing about even being a celebrity, whether they're an actor or model or musician or anything like that, like the celebrities that I work with have multifaceted empires. See, this is one of the reasons that I started focusing on helping coaches and mentors build empires, not just a coaching business. Because when you have an empire, you have a multifaceted business machine. Okay. I like to look at businesses like machines. Okay. I might be 5'2" and blonde, but when it comes to business, I am hardcore. Okay. Because I have been in business, for over 26 years myself. So I look at business as creating machines. And so each vertical, each business that you have is a machine. Now, even with celebrity status, even with some of the most famous people out there in the world, there are typically a number of ways, a number of revenue generation machines that they are having in their business. Because that way, there's things always in progress. There's always multiple ways of really creating and bringing in revenue within a business. So, back to the fourth type of toxic confidence in business. That fourth type of toxic confidence is thinking that just because you get a media feature somewhere or you get some kind of attention, that there is some kind of entitlement aspect to that. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean it in a way where I teach celebrity branding. I have taught celebrity branding. I have done celebrity branding for over 25 years. And even I know, and even I tell my clients that work with me with it, right, that unless they create clockwork client attraction systems, being branded as a celebrity, it's not going to make them anything. I have a famous saying that goes a little something like this. A Grammy award and $10 will get you a latte at Starbucks, okay, or a coffee shop. That's what it is. There's not a Grammy card. There's not like a grocery card or a Grammy card where you can like take it to the coffee shop or the grocery store. There's not like a supermodel card either, right? Like one of my clients was Anna Nicole Smith. I helped to build up her brand in the 90s. And so, she was a single mom, doing what she, build. She was building her business, she was building her business in different ways. And, she was somebody who got very burnt out because she stopped following my advice when she got to a different network because they were all different stuff happened. Anyway, she wasn't monetizing. Everybody knew her name, but she wasn't monetizing. Because she wasn't monetizing, she made some bad decisions. Okay. She made some bad business decisions, which ultimately affected her life in a significant way. So that is one example, right? Of like celebrity. Just because you have celebrity built up, it doesn't mean that it's automatically equating to money. So what is necessary is this is part of the putting the cart before the horse too as well, because if you are a mentor or a coach and you have a signature program, you are putting in the work to build a brand, and you have a signature program, and you have a freebie lead magnet, and you have a clockwork client attraction system, which has your step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of somebody becoming a client within your universe, right? When you have that built and you have that created, well, then when you get some, attention, in the, let's say by the media or in a TV show or things like that, well, sure, then you can monetize that because you already have a clockwork client attraction system built. Do you see the difference? The fourth type of toxic confidence is just feeling like because you're getting a lot of attention, or I've seen this even with people on social media where they have a lot of traction, so they get a lot of attention online, right? So like I've seen people with like millions of followers, and where they're getting hundreds of likes on every post that they're doing. But because they don't have a clockwork client attraction system created, and they don't have their, really a celebrity style personal brand that is attached to a monetization element. And in this case, when we're talking about coaching and business, or coaching and mentor business development, right? So if you don't have, things fleshed out in terms of how you are attracting your target audience, right? And what you are going to be talking about, like in your education, it doesn't matter how much attention you get, you can't eat likes. There is not a like card that you can bring to the grocery store. Okay. I mean, I don't know that there is. Like, if there is, please let me know. But I don't think that there is. So that's an example right there of toxic confidence number 4, where people think that just because they have a lot of followers, or they've created celebrity in certain ways, or they're on a TV show, or they've had a lot of media features, that's automatically going to equate to money, because it doesn't. What it can do when you use it wisely, and when you build a coaching or a mentor signature program in the right way, and you release things and you launch things in the right way, then you can create magic. Then you create traction. You see, the biggest difference between those who actually create the coaching and mentor empires that make millions or billions of dollars, and those who don't, is doing things in the wrong order. Also, not ultra niching the right way, because just because you create a niche, right, it doesn't mean that niche of people, just because you like talking about something. And this is why I'm seeing, like, this is one of those things that just makes me just like, eye rolling moment when I look online, right? All these people that are teaching the junk food business training, they're like teaching coaches and mentors. They're like, what do you like to talk about? You should make that as your business. It's like, oh, slow down, hang on, because that's not really coming at it from a machine perspective. Yes, we want to ask what you like doing, because if you're not heart-based and you're not connected in your heart energy and passionate about it, you're not going to, follow through. It's going to be a lot harder for you to do that. So you definitely want to be connected to it, but that's step 1. Step 1 is, what do I like to talk about? Step 2 is, well, let's look at this desired target audience, and see if they actually, number 1, have the money to pay ultra high-end rates. Because remember, my specialty is teaching people how to build the 20 to 100K plus programs, the ultra high-end. Okay. We're not messing around with tiddlywinks in the playground. Okay. I'm empire level, and not everybody is a fit for what I do. That's just how it is. I'm really focused on helping today's up and coming coaches and mentors who are, going to be reaching millions of people around the world. Okay. So that's my focus. My focus is on the ultra high end, and helping people to develop ultra high end coaching and training mentor programs, and really, building it out from there. So one of the things that, is necessary is not only thinking about what it is you like to talk about, but you also need to, define, is there a target audience of this in this category that has the money to pay ultra high-end rates of 20 to 100K plus, and the desire to solve their problems. Because I always come back to this. Always, always, always. In the coaching and mentor business world, the thing is that some people do not want to solve their problems. Okay. Do you want me to prove this to you? I will. How many people are overweight in America? How many? A lot, right? A lot more these days. So do these people know about balanced diet, how to eat healthy, how to not eat healthy? Fair to say, yeah. Okay. So if they are overweight and it's affecting their health, let's say it's affecting their health and they're overweight, right? And they have access to the information about how to eat properly, and they're making a choice to not do it. Well, To me, that's a pretty clear example of somebody who has a problem, who doesn't want to solve it. And in business, you need to be realistic. This isn't about airy-fairy, pie in the sky, building your business on clouds, okay? This isn't like just feel as good as you possibly can in every single moment and then it will all come to you. No, it won't, okay? That's toxic positivity. Now, if you're unfamiliar with my background, I'm actually a natural born psychic medium. I was actually the #1 speaker, keynote speaker at the Learning Annex in Minneapolis, as well as the #1 event host and producer. I am a natural born psychic medium. I have had an extensive career as a psychic, as an intuitive, as a holistic success specialist. Okay. Now, I am one of the first people to talk about the power of the mind, the power of positivity, but I'm also one of the first people to talk about toxic positivity. If you're building your business from this perspective of thinking that you need to be 100% perfect all the time, and that you need to be 100% positive all the time, and that your main mission is to just sit there and feel good and then they will all come, well, that's not going to work. Okay. And if I'm the first person that's told you that, then you're listening to junk food business advice. Okay. I'm a professor of marketing. When it comes to business, I'm hardcore. I'm not messing around. Okay. When my friends will tell you this, when I'm like hanging out with my friends, I'm chill. I'm much more chill. I'm much more, like kind of thing. Or when I'm like creating, when I'm making music and things like that, right? That's a different part. But when I'm in business mode, we're hardcore changing the world here with business. And there's no time for messing around. Okay. When you build a business on a strong foundation with strong root system, then what you have is you have a tree, a business tree that can provide for you for many years to come. Now, on the other hand, if you build a business in a really, shallow way, or in a way that's really not dialed into a target audience that has the money to pay ultra high-end rates and the desire to solve their problems, or you're just doing this whole business in a box kind of thing, and you're trying to build everything in a day, but don't have the business acumen to be able to do that, right? Or you're doing things in the wrong order, or you're waiting to feel 100% confident. Well, all of those things are toxic confidence, because you want to be confident in business, but toxic confidence is toxic. And back real quickly here to the second toxic confidence point. Remember, the second toxic confidence point is the people who have a level of toxic confidence where they feel like everything needs to be 100% perfect before they're launching their signature coaching or training programs or their mentor programs, right? Now, the thing about that, and part of that mechanism from an ego perspective, because again, I do have a degree in advertising, as well as multimedia development, all kinds of different media from the 90s. So way back in the day. So I learned how to do everything media-wise because I'm kind of a super geek, but again, not a good cook. So not saying I'm good at everything, because I'm not, but business, that's my jam. So when it comes to our second toxic confidence principle, the people that are trying to feel 100% confident about their business before they're launching anything, the thing about that is it's also connected to toxic positivity. And here's why. Toxic positivity is where this whole notion that's out there is about being positive and kind of this whole pie in the sky kind of a notion about building your business. They're like, you just need to sit and meditate and your clients will come and they will be attracted. And it's like, okay, one element. I am a natural born psychic medium. I do believe in using metaphysical principles when they make sense in business development, but I'm also a professor of marketing, and I've been an advertising agency executive and business mentor to celebrities for over 25 years. So guess what that means? It means it's about practical and magical. Magical components, awesome. I love that. I love getting into that zone where you're like, focused on the positivity. You're focused on attracting to you from an energetic perspective, right? I used to teach that, at the Learning Annex 20 years ago. When it comes to business, though, you've got a machine that you're building. And if that machine is built in the wrong way, all this airy fairy, feel good in the moment, like all that kind of stuff, it's going to do nothing for you if you don't have a machine that's built in the right way. Okay. So what do we have here? Practical magic. Okay. You don't want to only focus on the magical side of a coaching or mentor business. And you don't want to only focus on the practical side, which is where the mindset comes in. I do a lot of deep level mindset work with my clients because, I do things like helping them to melt their polar ice blocks that are on the inside that prevent them from their next level of success. I actually just did a retreat recently here in Las Vegas where I took my clients through an exercise, a polar ice block melting exercise, where we identified, what are the internal blocks in their mindset that are going on that are preventing them from getting to their next level of success. Because, success blocks can be like glasses. If you're wearing the wrong pair of glasses, it's going to skew your perception. Okay. If your perception is skewed, then how are you supposed to build a business that works for you and not against you? So when it comes to that second toxic confidence principle, wait until you feel 100% confident is just one of the worst ways to actually launch a program, because the thing is that you need to be willing to risk your ego. You need to be willing to risk being wrong and it not being perfect. And you see, this is oftentimes one of the reasons that people wait and they look to feel 100% confident all the time, is because actually what's going on is it can be a form of self-sabotage by not taking a risk. Because every time you do a business launch or you put something new out there business-wise, you're risking being wrong, aren't you? Mm-hmm. And as an entrepreneur, the thing is that you need to put your ego to the side. You might be wrong, and that's okay. In advertising, we have a little thing called testing. Now, I know in today's business development world and the online world, which is not based on real world business principles and practices, there's a lot of, I think ego-driven business training that's going on out there these days. And what I mean by that is that I feel like there's a lot of people out there teaching this junk food business training advice, kind of advising people that they need to feel, like something is perfect. If they feel like it's good enough, then their clients are going to buy it. Or if they feel like it's perfect, then their clients are going to buy it. Or if they feel whatever. I'm sorry, but that is really not the best way to approach business. Okay. I've been doing this a long time. And if you walk into Samsung and you're like having a meeting, like it's one of the companies I've been a consultant with, right? If you walk into Samsung and tell them, oh, I feel like blah, 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 my ego is saying this, and it just feels all this, they're going to laugh at you and be like, what are you talking about? That it's not real business. That's my point. It's junk food business advice. Junk food business advice is teaching this toxic confidence perspective and going, oh, you need to feel super good, about every single aspect of everything and not do anything in your business until you feel 100% confident with everything. And then if you feel 100% confident, then of course they're going to buy because your ego wants to be right? No. See, that's what happens when people are building businesses not based on real world business principles and practices. Real world business principles and practices start from two things. Number one, what do you like to do? Because you're the mentor, you're the coach, you are the expert. If you're not liking what you're doing, you might not be that successful with it. Okay. So of course it's about liking what you're doing, right? But After you ask the question, what do I like doing? Then you ask the second question, who is willing to pay ultra high-end rates and solve their problems and has the desire to solve their problems? And then you check in with that and see, oh, wait, is that? Is that a culture or a community or a common problem or whatever, right? Or a common population of people that's going to do that. Because business is not just based on your fantasy world. Business is based on creating elements that give people what they want. And so the toxic positivity and this toxic confidence aspect that's out there being taught these days, what's so interesting about it is that when people are coming at it from too ego-filled of a perspective, and they just want so badly to be right? It's not the best way to build a business. It's the best way to build failure. And it's also the best way to build self-sabotage, because you want to build your business based on, some real actionable projections of looking at the target audience, how you can get in contact with that target audience. Do they really have the desire to solve their problems? Really? Or they just want to, give it lip service, right? Like, look at all the people that are overweight. Do they know they should lose weight if they're having health issues because of it and they have the desire to? Sure. Do they have access to the information on how to eat healthy? Yeah. But it only happens when people really make a decision to make it happen. So just a recap here on this toxic confidence aspect of things. The first type of toxic confidence is from a mentor and coaching business perspective, is the first type of toxic confidence is the business in a box type of toxic confidence. And this is where people are thinking that, they can build a whole business in a day, or, here's a brand and a program and everything, and it's an hour, and then they put it out there and they're like, that should be it, right? Well, somebody like me does that, and I've had over 25 years of experience doing it. That's one thing, right? My business acumen is to the point where I could do that if I wanted to. But I tell you what, I still don't even do that. I don't. Once I build, then I think. I build, I think. I build, I think. And not just thinking critically and thinking the right way. You see, most coaches and mentors are using the wrong pair of glasses to look at their business through. And because of that, they're not getting the kind of traction that they could otherwise get. So the first type of toxic confidence in business is doing things too quickly. It's this whole business in a box perspective, okay? So the second type of toxic confidence is the notion that you need to feel 100% confident about everything before you do any kind of business launch. This is really a form of self-sabotage, and it's really an effort from the entrepreneur's perspective to not risk ego death and to not risk the ego being wrong, okay? Because when you put something out there, it may or may not work. I've been in advertising and marketing and business development for over 25 years. There are plenty of things that my clients have done throughout the years where, we come up with something, we come up with a strategy, we put it out there, and we have this thing. It's fancy, really fancy. Actually not, but it sounds like it might be fancy. It's called testing. We put something out there to do what? To test it, to test how it works. And then we tweak from there, right? But there's so many people, there's so many coaches and mentors in this day and age that are waiting. They're holding on to everything to feel 100% confident because they're not willing to risk the ego being wrong. Well, guess what? You might be wrong about some different things in business, but you only know once you implement. And so toxic confidence, the second type of toxic confidence, is really this waiting to feel 100% confident before you launch your programs and put things out there. Now, the third type of toxic confidence in a mentor or business development is doing things in the wrong sequence. So This is, putting the cart before the horse, or, getting things like a bunch of media features before you have a program, or things like that. Or even like, I know quite a few people who are on TV who aren't monetizing because they don't have their signature program or a clockwork client acquisition system built. So they don't have their step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of their client journey. So what that is that's doing things in the wrong sequence. If you're doing things in the wrong sequence, it's like putting the cart before the horse. The cart isn't going to go anywhere. Okay. So the third type of toxic confidence in mentor coaching business is doing things in the wrong sequence. And the fourth type of toxic confidence in a coaching or mentor business is really assuming that because you have media features, that is in and of itself going to equate to dollars in your bank account. Remember, or either media features or a lot of followers or a lot of engagement in even the social medias. Okay. So when it comes to this fourth type of toxic confidence, what's very important is to recognize that having a clockwork client attraction system is as important. Is the fundamentally important thing in this context, because when you have that, when you have media features, you want to be able to take advantage of them. Now, you're not going to be able to take advantage of them if you don't have the clockwork client attraction system set up. So that's the fourth type of toxic confidence, is assuming that media features or followers are going to equal revenue without having a clockwork client attraction system. So the solution for that one is to really build out a clockwork client attraction system. So there you have it. The 4 types of toxic confidence issues that really, are holding coaches and mentors back from success in their businesses. And I am right now looking for a few good mentors. I have my training academy, Mentors Tank Academy, as well as my TV show, Mentors Tank TV. And what I am doing, I'm going to just warn you, this is not right for everybody. Okay. This Mentors Tank Academy Empire Builder program that I have is for experienced coaches or mentors only. And it's for coaches and mentors who want my help in building out a couple different things. Number 1, a clockwork client attraction system to help them generate, clients, bring people in. Number 2, an ultra high-end signature coaching, training, or mentorship program that it ranges from $20,000 to $100,000 plus per enrollee. Okay. And so if those numbers scare you, or you're not ready to charge those numbers, that's okay. Like I said, my training is not right for everyone. I go deep level, and I'm focused on helping people reach millions and create global movements. And the thing is that when you have deep level work that you're doing with your clients, as long as you're solving major life or business problems, creating the ultra high end $20,000 to $1,000 plus, $20K to $100,000 plus programs is very feasible. It's just about building it the right way. So that's the second thing that I'm helping my clients do at Mentors Tank Academy, as well as building up their celebrity status. Now, celebrity status is not just being featured in the media. It's also really carving out expert authority status within your niche industry as well. And what I'm doing with Mentors Tank Academy is I'm training. I have a training program where I'm helping today's up and coming coaches and mentors, or even coaches and mentors who have a lot of traction, who want my help in building out the ultra high end 20 to 100K plus training programs. and creating more time leverage within their business as well. And what I'm doing is we're filming the progress that my clients are making while they're working with me. And we're filming that progress both online as well as in our live events that we do once per quarter in Las Vegas, where we film for the show as well. And so what I'm doing is I'm featuring this business transformation that my clients are having with me, and it's showcasing it on my TV show, Mentors Tank. So what this is doing is helping to also get the word out about what each of my clients is doing at Mentors Tank Academy. Now, like I mentioned before, this is not right for everybody. This is not right for newbies. I do have a separate program called Star Power Bootcamp that I do as well. That's open for all entrepreneurs. You don't have to just be a coach or a mentor to do Star Power Bootcamp. In Star Power Bootcamp, you can be a newbie, okay? Because we're focused on creating celebrity-style personal branding for you, and you can be in any kind of business. So if you're interested in that, let somebody from my organization know. You can send us a message or a comment below Star Power to get details about that. But for my Mentors Tank Academy program, this is for experienced entrepreneurs, only experienced coaches or mentors, because I want to make sure that each person that I'm working with that's accepted into enrollment at Mentors Tank Academy is a true bona fide expert at what they do. And so that's an important thing for me. So let's see, who is it right for? It's right for those who are experienced mentors and coaches. It's right for those who really want to create global traction and scale their business to 7 or 8 figures and create time leverage within their business. It's also for those who are willing to put in the work and implement, because it's not about just watching a bunch of master classes and coming to my live classes and then thinking your business into existence. You got to actually do the work. So we want people that are going to be implementing, that are going to be implementing the trainings that I provide. And I actually come at things from a less is more perspective in teaching what I call a gold nugget style training, which means that I really distill topics and concepts and even actions. So it's not about doing 1,000 things a week to create traction. When people start working with me, what I actually find is that I actually help them take things off their to-do list, because a lot of what coaches and mentors are doing out there these days are not really creating it's not really creating a lot of traction for them. So I like to be ultra focused on the things that are really going to create that traction. So who it's not for whiners. It's not for those who want to sit on the bench, sit on the sidelines. It's not for those who want to come up with 1,000 excuses of why they're not implementing or why they can't. If you are, if you need, to amp up your confidence so that you can feel like you can do it, then it's not right for you. You go amp up your confidence first, then apply to work with us. We have a Mentors Tank Alliance Mastermind that program that's actually part of the Mentors Association, part of the Mentors Magazine, and connected with my company, my organization, I Heart Purple Nation, which is the positive music association that I created to really continue the work of Prince with bringing positive music out into the world and inspiring people around the world through music. And so we go high level, and we are on that mission to reach over 1 billion people around the planet, to raise the vibration of planet Earth and make the world be a better place for our kids and future generations to live in. So I'm on the lookout for a few good mentors that I feel like, are bona fide mentors that are really going to be rock star implementers. And that would make a good contribution to my group as well, because we have high-level entrepreneurs working with us that are hitting the ground running. And if you feel like you might have what it takes to work with me here at Mentors Tank Academy, go ahead and comment mentor below this video, or follow the link, or send me a message on one of the socials, and one of my staff members will get back to you with the details about how to apply. And remember, this isn't right for everybody. It's really for those that I feel, so everybody's not accepted. I'll put it that way. Everybody's not accepted. It is an application process that you need to go through, because for me, it's about working with those mentors that I really believe that where I can get behind your mission. That's important for me from an ethical perspective, that number one, it's high vibe, that you have a high vibe mission, meaning that your business is going to help inspire people around the world, right? And number two, having the kind of business where I feel like, we can really help you get traction, because I'm interested in more success stories in my universe. So if you think that you've got what it takes to become a celebrity mentor in today's world in the global marketplace, comment mentor below, or inbox me, and one of my staff members will get back to you with the details on how to apply. So with that said, have a wonderful rest of your day, and cheers to love, health, wealth, and the time to enjoy it. Till next time.